if you're not going to train, then put a sign on your desk, I quit learning a long time ago, and see how many people want to buy from you. Tell your family, go home and tell your wife and your kids, I quit learning, I quit reading, I quit studying, I quit training, I can't get any better. Put on there, done, I'm finished, I'm in retirement early, I'm going to purgatory, I'm going to wait it out, cross my fingers, and hope they bring me to sales heaven. Look, you're done if you don't train, okay? Now, I know you know this, you've heard it, I hate to tell you this. My boy McGregor, Conor McGregor? My boy Conor McGregor. Okay, I went and saw him fight in New York. I went and saw him fight for one reason, because I saw him say, I'm not the best. This isn't about talent. It's because I'm obsessed. I out-train everyone else. I have to win so bad, I train. Look, if you're not training, that says something about your obsession or lack of obsession with winning. I want you to win. I know your wife or your husband, your spouse, your family members, your kids, your mom and dad want you to win at the next level, no matter what they tell you. Even if they tell you you're doing great, pat you on the back, you know the truth. You know the truth. The only way to win is to train. The only way to win is to read. The only way to win is to learn more, listen more, learn something new. Look, we're in a time like we've never been before. Technologies come and go faster than people do. Things are changing like this, whether it's video you're using or social media or Snap or short videos or videos that disappear or videos that stay or text messaging that you can create to push and market and brand yourself, called text messaging, which I've been using a lot. Look, the world's changing. And if you're saying to yourself, I'm too old to learn that, well then guess what? You're too old to learn that. If you can't learn anything new, just put, I'm ripe and I'm about to fall off the tree and nobody's going to want me. Look, man, you got to train every single day like your life depends on it. Train every single day. I am here today. I own these 4 companies that I own, the studio, my reputation. Everything is because when I was 25 years old to when I was 30 years old, every single day, I trained watching video every day. I'd watch the video, I'd walk in, and then I would role play, and then we would do a sales meeting every single day. And immediately, when I was 25 years old, that is what changed my whole life. My commitment to training, my commitment and willingness to sit down every day, take in a piece of data, sit down and role play that with somebody else, okay? Look at my stats every day, and on the way home, on the drive home, every single day, I would listen to audio. On my way to work every day, I would listen to audio. When I woke up in the morning, I'd watch video. Every morning when I got to work, I role played. Every time I lost a deal, I role played what I would do differently next time to get that deal. That is a commitment. That commitment started with number 1. I wanted to get my money right. I got tired, sick and tired of going to the store having to put a bag up. I got sick and tired of hearing myself say that's too much money when I was at the store or the restaurant. I got sick and tired of that. The only reason it was too much money was because I wasn't selling enough. I wasn't making enough. And why was I only selling enough to complain? Is because I wasn't training, because I didn't know what to do.
You need to be able to sell, whether it's Kickstarter, whether it's New York Times, whether it's your local newspaper. You need to be able to communicate effectively and sell, which is why when entrepreneurs ask me for books to read outside of business books, I say On Writing Well, Bird by Bird, all books on writing, improving communication. David Ogilvy on advertising, study print ads where you have very little space. I think those are all very, very effective. The best entrepreneurs I've ever met are all good communicators. It's perhaps one of the very few unifying factors. They're exceptional communicators. Practice is the only way to get better at communicating. And practicing speaking does not provide you generally with something to review later, which is why the written word is so powerful. Yeah. Writing is thought crystallized on a piece of paper that can then be reviewed. It's very difficult to do that with speech, which is why I recommend people focus on honing their skills in writing. And take time to study good direct response ads. Take time to, for instance, maybe develop a swipe file. So one of the things that I did for years is anytime I bought something, I would identify the ad, the phone call, the print ad, the offer, whatever it was that made me decide to buy it. And I would either cut it out or record it, put it into Evernote, whatever it might be, and save it. So I had a record of everything that I bought and why I bought it.
That's really cool.
And then I could go back and review it, and I'd be like, oh, looks like I fell for this, this, and this. Not in a bad way, but it looks like this tipped me from or not interested to, yeah, I'll spend $550, $500, $5,000 on that.
Yeah.
I save all that. Everything that works in sales has been done already. You do not need to reinvent the wheel. So just keep track of the crap that you buy, or the awesome stuff that you buy, and decide, what was the trigger, what pushed me over the edge, and then just sell to people like you. That's what I do. It's really easy.
I think my salesmanship was the first raw talent that I understood in my life. It has been the bedrock of my existence. The unbelievable reason that VaynerMedia is what it is today has a lot to do with salesmanship. It is massively important when you actually, it's really funny, when you actually sell something, having sales skills is extremely important. So many of you are going to fail in your business because you underestimate salesmanship as a core tenet when you're trying to sell something. Many of you make the nicest thing, the coolest thing. It's why artists starve, because they can't sell. Like, selling is real. I think it's been an enormous part, and I think the thing that's made me better through my career is experience. Experience is a real thing. The bottom line is, the 22-year-old me would be disappointed right now if he saw the 40-year-old me in salesmanship, because he would have realized, he's picked up some shit along the way that I didn't have just from my natural skills. So the answer is unbelievably, and if you're watching right now and you are building a business and you are not a natural born salesperson or are great at it, and you are self-aware enough to know that, you need to either get a family member, aka these guys, like really in your inner circle that are gonna be there long term and allow them to, or even bring in a partner. It is that important. And if you're a good salesperson, never allow yourself to not continue to learn, try different tactics, do different things. Experience has made me better.
It's in the follow-up. You got a lead, somebody's interested. How do I follow them up? Now, this is where the financial thing comes back into play, because the follow-up is hard. Nobody wants to make that second call, much less the third one or the fourth one or the fifth one. Do you know that 25% of all salespeople make one phone call and quit? 48% never make 2 calls. Most never make the first one. It's crazy, okay? Most of your sales are closed between the 5th and the 8th call. If you're advertising on the internet, there's a good chance you have to call people 8 to 11 times just to get them on the phone one time to qualify them the first time to see if they're even on the right product. So follow up. The fortunes are in the follow-up.
Why is it that some people are more successful than others? Now, in the Bible, there's a line that says, "Seek and ye shall find, for all who seek findeth. Ask and the door will be open." So I began asking other successful people, what are you doing differently from me? And they told me, and I did it, and I got better results. I got into sales when I could no longer get a laboring job, like many of you. And in sales, I noticed that one of the guys in my company was making 10 times as much as anybody else, and he was selling the same product out of the same office at the same price to the same people under the same conditions, and he was making 10 times as much as anybody else. So I went and asked him, what are you doing differently from me? And he told me, and I did it. Now, what I discovered, which changed my life and which brought us here today, is I discovered the law of cause and effect. The law of cause and effect, sowing and reaping, action and reaction, is the great universal or iron law of the universe. What it says is that everything happens for a reason, is that there are no causeless effects, is that even if we don't know what is causing the effect, we trace it back. It's the basis of the scientific process, of all medical research, of all marketing, of all business, is if you can define an effect that you want, you can trace it back and find somebody who at one time did not have that effect, and then find out what they did, and then do the same things, and you eventually get the same results. We say that success is not an accident. Failure is not an accident. Success leaves tracks. So if you just follow the tracks of other successful people, no matter where you're starting from, you eventually get to the same place that they get. Well, this was a shocker for me, because, and I learned later in psychology, by the way, that one of the 2 most important things we need to have to be happy and healthy is a sense of control, a feeling that we are in control of our lives, that things are happening for a reason, and a sense of coherence, a feeling that things fit together. Well, when I realized the law of cause and effect explained everything, I got, wow. So in sales, I went to the top of my sales force. I read and I learned, attended courses, and especially I applied what I learned. And then when I got into sales management, I again read the books and took the courses and asked for advice. And when I got into real estate and importation and development and manufacturing and distribution and a whole series of businesses over the years, the first thing I did is I asked, how does it work? How do people succeed in this field? And then I buried myself and immersed myself. I spent hours and hours and hours studying, and then I did what the most successful people did. Interesting point. We say that nature is neutral. In other words, nature doesn't care who you are. It doesn't care if you're tall or short or male or female or black or white, educated or uneducated. Nature doesn't care. All that nature cares is that you do what successful people do. It's like making a recipe. Nature doesn't care if you follow a recipe. If you follow the recipe exactly, you get the dish. Nature doesn't care who's doing it. And that's the wonderful thing about our society. It's basically like justice. It's blind, is nature doesn't care. In fact, there are a lot of people who are not as smart and not as talented as you who are doing vastly better than you, not because they're better, but because they're just following proven success methods. There's nothing that will make you madder than to see somebody who's dumber than you, who's making more money than you, right? Have you had that experience? So what we do is we use proven success methods. We just find out what they are, and we do them over and over again.